I have a love-hate relationship with technology. I love it once it's working because it makes my life so much easier. But I hate picking a new system. I hate setting it up, and I just feel completely overwhelmed by what systems are going to be right for us. If you're feeling this way at all, then today's episode is going to be just for you. My guest, Tanisha Lee, is here to talk all about systems and AI and how it's going to help you to find some of that balance in your life, but also help you to elevate your client experience, what you can do to get over that fear and jump into using technology in your everyday life inside your business. You're going to love this episode. Tanisha, I am so excited to learn along with our listeners today all about how to use AI and systems in your business. And I understand that you have been dubbed like the systems queen.
Yeah, that's what they're calling me in these little event streets.
I love it because you're totally owning the space. And also because you're going to be one of our new speakers that's joining us for the Wedding Pro CEO Summit this year, coming up in just a couple of weeks. This is going to be a little prequel to what you're talking about at the summit.
Absolutely. I'm excited.
It's going to be really good. I'm excited to hear you speak. So before we get into your topic today and kind of talk about all things systems and AI, can you tell everybody a little bit about who you are and how you got into what you're doing now?
I have been in the wedding and event space for about 15 years now. I actually was working with David's Bridal, and I happened upon a bride who needed some help wrangling in her mother. And
Okay.
she loved the way that I did it. And she came back to pick up her dress and was like, "Hey, can you plan my wedding?" And I was like, "So I don't do that." And then she wrangled me into doing it, and I never looked back. But when I
Really?
got started, it was really interesting. We didn't have Google, we didn't have all these resources. And so we just kind of like went by the bootstraps and tried to figure it out on our own. And I was like, well, one day when we're successful and I feel stable enough, I'm going to give back.
Gosh, it was just so different back then. Like there wasn't
Mhm.
online education. Like you didn't have the way to connect besides out of your local market. Who were your competitors? So who are you
Mhm.
asking? Like, what do I do? Right? It's so exciting to be able to have people like you who are pouring back into our community and doing that through speaking and educating and helping people so much. So you still have your wedding planning business right now too, right?
Yes.
Okay. Wow.
And so kind of grown the team and kind of taught them. It's been an all around good experience, even though you come through the hurdles of business, right?
Yes.
Everybody does.
What do you think would be one of the things that you would tell somebody that you wish you knew then?
Make it legal.
Yes.
Like
Yes.
our industry, there's no barrier to entry. It's like we wake up, we have a dream, we go for it.
Yep.
And we forget that while we're on this fun ride, there's actually like some steps we need to do.
Yes. When you first get your first, one or two clients, you're not thinking about
No.
legalizing everything. But they're 3 to 5 years in, like you're legit. We need to be legalizing all of your contracts, all of your employment agreements and things like that. So I think that's a really good advice. Okay, so we're going to start talking about systems and AI and how did this become really like the specialty that you decided to lean into? How did you become the systems queen?
I am the mom of the most spirited kidpreneur ever. I want to support him in doing all these things. And so I sat down and tried every single CRM I could find. It was solely because I just wanted to have some balance. I was like, I need the CRM to do all the things
Yep.
because I'm not going to have time to do any of that if I want to spend it with him. It's something I just kind of discovered that I fell in love with. And I was like, this is how I can help other people.
So what's your favorite CRM?
I have two, actually.
Okay.
So Dubsado is all time my most favorite, most customizable,
Okay.
and it works how you like to work. So you don't have to like tailor yourself to. But then there's a new one that I discovered that I really, really love, Harpson.
I've heard people talking
Love
about Harpson.
If you're more Apple-minded person, Harpson is for you. But
Okay.
if you're more Google Android-minded person, Dubsado's for you.
I know that what you're talking about at the summit is really how to get back your time by using systems and AI, right?
When we get into the wedding industry, we always think we have to do everything ourselves. I don't think that's it. That's not my jam. And maybe right off the bat, you can't hire a full team. So maybe you hire your systems instead. find something that can just do it for you so that you can get back the time to either hang out with your friends, have an actual social life. It's okay to need help, and it's okay to bring on the people and then bring on the systems that you need if you want to scale ultimately.
I think that the hard part about that is it's like to build off the system, you have to have a system that you do manually first, and then you kind of find some system that you can use to automate all of that.
It's getting the process out of your head. And so then, and
That's
that's
the
the hard
hardest part.
And so for me, I was always afraid that something was going to happen and I wasn't going to make it to the wedding. And then it did happen.
Oh no.
I had a tired blowout, but this was after I had my systems in place, thank goodness. And I was able to call another planner who had no idea about this wedding whatsoever. But me being able to log into my system and just send her the link to the client's file,
Yep.
and everything still go off until I was able to get there without a hitch, I will never go back.
As we're having this system built out for us currently, I'm like, this is going to force me to take it out of my head and get it into a system, get it onto paper, because honestly, until you're kind of forced to do that, a lot of the steps do live in your head.
It honestly will weaken the team sometimes.
Yes.
Because they're trying to be in your head, which they can't.
Yeah.
They can be in the system easily.
I do feel that for my team. I want to talk a little bit about the client experience as well, right? So yes, all of those systems are coming into play with giving you your balance back, but how can that also support you in really being like that go-to person in your market?
We have to be the one that they can trust. And how can they trust us if we're all over the place? It also plays into that illustrious word luxury. No one can truly define like what luxury is, but for me, it's the experience. And if the experience that my clients can get in the beginning is an automated message, but it's quick, and it's like, okay, they're going to get to me. I don't still feel stressed. I don't still feel like I'm going to be left in the dark. It just kind of opens up the communication to be a more elevated experience.
Honestly, clients do expect things very, very quickly. And I always like to try to tell my students too, it's not that the systems and the automations are taking the place of you. They're just making your experience so much better because now the actual process of what you do is being done by automation. You had touched on luxury, the term luxury, right, being an experience. I agree 100% with that. I had seen in a branding campaign, they defined luxury as the absence of worry. And I was just obsessed with that. I was like, that's exactly what it is, right? Because our luxury clients hire us so they don't have to worry.
That's always been my goal. Make it more convenient for them.
I think one of the biggest barriers to adding a system is not knowing what to do with it. What would you say to somebody that's listening to kind of break down that fear of like, but I wouldn't even know where to start?
I live by the rule that my business is my number one client. And so I have to schedule time for my business, schedule time to work on, and then schedule work time to work in my business. And then honestly, a lot of the fear that I've heard is just, I'm scared I'm going to break it. It's like you just gotta push the button. And then also realize there's people out there to help you. That's what customer support is for. And a lot of these systems will set it all up for you.
That was the best soundbite, is your business is your number one client.
No matter how many clients we have on the books, we got to take care of soirees by Lee first.
Yep.
And then we can take care of our clients. It's the same thing that we do in our personal lives. You got to take care of yourself first before you can take care of other people.
Tanisha, what can our attendees expect at the summit?
So I'm going to focus on AI and automations, right?
So
the
good.
Big, scary AI. I want to teach you how to tap into the resource and then also how to automate with the AI so that now you don't have to go back and tell it what to do every time. It's just going to do it.
You guys, if you haven't already gotten your ticket to the summit, it's coming up in just a few weeks. It's the first week of June, June 3rd through 6th in Austin, Texas. Tanisha, where can people find you if they want to connect with you before the summit online?
So you can always find me at collectivelywed.com, and then you can find me on all social media platforms at collectivelywed.
Tanisha, thank you so much for being here.
Oh, thank you for having me. I'm excited.